Defining moments of the Ashes first test 2023. Australia held their nerves brilliantly on the first day to win the first test. They managed to eke out 2-wicket win over the arch rivals England. Hello and welcome to Stumps and Bails. I am your host Abhinandan. Australia had been doing this running for the large parts of the test, but turned it on when it mattered the most. England, in the fairness, was one of the most dominant side for the majority of this test. It was a test cricket that won at the end of the day as Australia got to the shores in the final moments of the test. Now let's take a look at the defining moments of the Ashes first test. At number 1, Joe Root's splendid century. England, as promised, stuck to their style of aggressive cricket. Winning the toss and opting to bat, their batters were keen on imposing themselves. But it was eventually Joe Root who played a massive part in dominating the day one. Without his contribution, England could have well shot themselves in the arm. Root, as he so often does these days, batted like a dream without breaking a sweat to take England to a strong position of 393 for 8 on the day one of the test match. In number 2, England's interesting declaration on day 1 with Joe Root still on strike. Joe Root had started to take on Nathan Lyon. He was well past his 100 and looking in a mood to make it real big one. Ollie Robson batting in at number 10 gave him decent company. It appeared as if England would coast past 400-420 run mark, but Ben Stokes out of nowhere declared the England innings on 393 for 8. Stokes mentioned that he wanted to pick 2 Australian wickets before the end of day 1, hence he had no hesitation on declaration. His aspect certainly had a say in the final outcome of the game. In number 3, it's Usman Khawaja holds the rope tight for Australia. The Australian opener had a forgettable 2023 WTC final against India. His old troubles against the moving ball were spoken loudly. Usman Khawaja put up all those doubts to rest with a scintillating century in the first innings. He held on to one end firmly as the Aussies' middle order batted around him. Khawaja at one stage looked to take Australia's first innings total beyond England, but a captaincy intelligence from Stokes forced a false shot and Australia conceded a lead of 7 runs to England. In number 4, England batted aggressively, but Australia held their nerves. In brief session of the play on day 3, Pat Cummins and Scott Boland wreaked havoc as the Aussies picked up both openers. England was precocious, placed at 28 for 2 at the end of day 3. Joe Root reverse ramped the first ball on day 4 against Pat Cummins. It signalled the way England would bat in the second innings. Most of the batters got off to start, but just when it appeared England would boss the game, they lost a wicket. Then eventually finished on 273, leaving Australia 281 runs to win. On number 5, it was Australia who kept soaking it in. At different stages of the run chase, Australia was behind in the game. They lost 3 crucial wickets before the close of day 4. Australia needed another 174 runs to win on the final day. They kept losing wickets mostly against the run of play. Australia didn't choose to attack the part-time spin of Joe Root for the longest time. At 209 for 7, it appeared that England would take the game, and with Carey's dismissal, the writing was on the wall. Finally, it was Australia who showed why they are the number 1 team in the world. Pat Cummins took on the ounce on himself to see Australia through. He smashed Joe Root for 2 sixes in 1 over. This counter-punch turned the game. Nathan Lyon walking in at number 10 showed immense courage. Australia's 2 standout bowlers now were doing it with the bat. It was only apt that Cummins hit the winning runs. He showed what a great leader he is, lifting Lyon in an embrace. Australia right through the test kept taking whatever England threw at them, but not for once they surrendered to England's aggressive approach. It was this single major factor that saw them prevail in what will forever be spoken as one of the greatest Ashes tests. So that's it for today. Please like, share and subscribe to Stumps and Bails YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to follow our social media handles mentioned below in the description. Thank you.